Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, let us look at some examples related to factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Let us see an example, and then in this example, let us say we have a trinomial of this form: 2a squared minus 12a plus 10. We want to factor this trinomial completely. And what we mean by that is as follows. Let me write this in these different steps. The given expression is 2a squared minus 12a plus 10. If I look at all the terms, 2, 12, and 10, 2 is common. So if I were to pull out 2 as common, what is left inside this set of brackets is a squared minus 6a. 2 times 6 is 12, so therefore 6a plus 5. So let me check this. 2 times a squared is 2a squared. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12a. 2 times positive 5 is positive 10. So therefore 2 is common in all of these, so therefore I pulled it out. What we need to do is we want to factor this part alone. This is in the form of a trinomial now. We want to factor a squared minus 6a plus 5. We will keep the 2 as part of the answer, and then we will proceed in that manner. So as step number 2, we want to follow the trial and error process. Trial and error process, and then we want to select two numbers, the sum of which will equal the middle term negative 6, and the product of the same two numbers should equal positive 5. So we want to look for numbers which satisfy that condition. Let us try negative 3 and negative 3. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6, and that is what we want as a middle term. That satisfies that. But if I were to take the same two numbers, negative 3 and negative 3, and multiply them out, I get a positive 9. But what we need is a positive 5. Therefore, negative 3 and negative 3 is not a good selection. No good. So let us keep trying. Let us take another selection. Let us say if we select 6 and negative 1. 6 and negative 1. 6 minus 1. Let us take, no, not 6 and negative 1. Let us say, let me select another number here. If I have negative 5 and negative 1, let's say, negative 5 plus negative 1 is equal to negative 6, and that is what the middle term is. If I were to take the same two numbers, negative 5 and multiply by negative 1, I'm going to get positive 5, and that is what we want. And that is what we want as the last term, and therefore that is good. So the two numbers we are looking for, are, let me write this as step number 3. The two numbers we are looking for are negative 5 and negative 1. I'll put a small cloud around this. And I'm going to expand the middle term based off these two numbers. I'm going to write that as step number 4. In here, I'm going to keep the 2 outside of the brackets, and then inside the brackets I have a squared minus 6a plus 5 is what I have, and the two numbers which I've just found are negative 5 and negative 1, and therefore I'm going to expand this middle term, negative 6a, using negative 5 and negative 1. So the way to do that is as shown here: a squared minus 5a minus 1a plus 5. Okay, so we'll keep the 2, and then now we will look at these two terms and then factor it out, these two terms, and then factor them out and see what we get. Between a squared and negative 5a, a is common, open parenthesis. If I pull out a from a squared, a is left. If I pull out a from 5a, 5 is left, right? And then between negative 1a and positive 5, negative 1 is common. If I pull out negative 1, I have a minus 5 inside the set of parentheses. So therefore, what I have now left is a times a minus 5, negative 1 times a minus 5. So looking at this, a minus 5 is common here, and then in the second set of parentheses I'm going to write whatever is left in here. So what is left here is a minus 1. So therefore, as step number 5, I can come back here and then say the factored form is 2 times a minus 5 times a minus 1, and this is the factored form for this trinomial, which is given to us as 2a squared minus 12a plus 10. So this is the factored form. So 2 times a minus 5 times a minus 1. So when we are looking at trinomials, we want to make sure that if there is anything common, we want to pull out that common and then just factor the base trinomial. And then when we factor them out, we want to make sure that whatever we pulled out as common is also added back to the final answer, because that is part of the answer. In my next presentation, we shall look at some more examples related to factoring trinomials.